Hello, welcome guys. Welcome to Shriram Academy. So today we are going to talk about one of the important topic from your exam point of view. So today we'll talk about the how male gametophyte is produced in the angiosperm. So first of all, we will have to talk about different floral structures. So there are mainly four different floral structures which are called as sepal, then stamen, sepal, petal, then stamen and carpel. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, so the green one is called as sepal, the red one is called as petals. So this is sepal, the red ones are called as petals, the black one is called as stamen, and the blue one is called as carpel. So these are four main floral structures which are very much important in the reproductive process. Out of these, stamen and carpel, these are considered as a male reproductive structure and female reproductive structure respectively. Okay, that is stamen, that is a black one, which is a male reproductive structure, which is also called as androecium, and the blue one, that is carpel, it is a female reproductive structure which is also called as gynoecium. So today we'll talk about the androecium. This androecium has mainly three structures. So I'll draw it separately. Okay. So androecium has three structures. That is filament, connective, and anther. Filament, connective, and anther. So see, this is a filament. This is filament. Then the site of attachment of anther with the filament is called as connective, and this uppermost, the bulging part, is called as anther. Okay, so the androecium or stamen has these three structures: filament, connective, and anther. As you are looking here, the anthers are bilobed, means it having two lobes. This is first one and this is second one. And these anthers are tetrasporangiate. Why they are called as tetrasporangiate? Because each lobe of this anther further divide into two parts. Okay, so the first one divided into two parts, second one also divided into two parts. So there is a formation of four compartment for first, second, third, and fourth. So that's why these anthers are called as tetrasporangiate. As you are looking here also in this figure number 1.4, TS of anther. Okay, so see, there is a two lobes of anther. This is one lobe and this is another lobe. Okay, and each lobe is further divided into two compartments. So see, this one is divided into this one and this is second lobe. This lobe further divide into two. This is one and this is second. Okay. So due to presence of two compartments or two lobes in the anther, they are called as dithecous. Thica matlab sac. Okay, so two sac like structures are present or two bag like structures are present in anther, and each compartment or each lobe further divide into two compartments. So there is a formation of four compartments as you looking here, 1, 2, 3 and 4. That's why it is also called as tetrasporangiate. Tetra means 4. Okay, and in this each compartment there is a formation of spores. Spores will form in each of these compartment, each of these four compartment. That's why it is called as tetrasporangiate. Why sporangiate? Because the spores will form in each compartment. Okay, टेट्रा इसलिए क्योंकि 4 साइड्स है, 4 कंपार्टमेंट है इसलिए. अंडरस्टूड? Now let me tell you about another thing, that is this about this anther. So anther, it has mainly 4 layers. The outermost layer is called as epidermis. Outermost layer of anther, it is called as epidermis. It is protective in nature. It protects the anther from external injury or external environment. Inner to this epidermis, the layer is called as endothecium. Okay, endothecium is the layer inner to epidermis. Below the endothecium, the third layer present called as middle layer. Okay, and inner to this middle layer there is a tapetum. So these are 4 walls present in the anther. The outermost is epidermis and innermost is tapetum. Epidermis, it is protective in nature. Tapetum, it is nutritious. It provides nourishment to the developing spores. Okay, and here the orange and yellow color structures, they contain sporogenous tissue. Means the tissue present in this yellow and orange region, they produce spores. This tissue contain pollen mother cells. मतलब the cells which are going to develop into pollen grains. Okay. So these cells present in the sporogenous tissue. See, this is sporogenous tissue which contain pollen mother cells. So this pollen mother cell, it undergo meiosis. It undergo meiosis. Okay. So meiosis की वजह से क्या होता है? This diploid pollen mother cell convert into haploid pollen grain. Okay, diploid pollen mother cell to n number of chromosome reduced to n number of chromosome in pollen grain. So this is pollen grain. Okay, so the pollen mother cell present in this sporogenous tissue, they undergo meiosis to develop or to form pollen grains. Okay. Now these pollen grains, they having the outermost wall, which is called as sporoderm. The wall present around the pollen grain is called as स्पोरोडर्म. स्पोरो पोलन ग्रेन है इसलिए स्पोर्स लाइक स्ट्रक्चर है, मतलब सर्कुलर स्ट्रक्चर है इसलिए स्पोर. एंड डर्म मीन्स स्किन. सो आउटर मोस्ट लेयर ऑफ पोलन ग्रेन इज कॉल्ड एज स्पोरोडर्म. And it has two layers. The sporoderm has two layers. See, here I am drawing. Okay. So sporoderm has two layers. The outer layer is called as exine and inner layer is called as intine. Exine contain sporopollenin. Exine contain sporopollenin. Please remember this chemical compound sporopollenin. It is very important. It helps in resisting the pollen grain in adverse condition. Due to this sporopollenin, the pollen grains can be stored for a longer period of time, even for several years. Okay, and the intine, which contain that is innermost layer of pollen grain, and which contains cellulose and pectin. So remember composition of exine and composition of intine. Exine contains sporopollenin, intine contains cellulose and pectin. Okay. So this is the structure of pollen grain. Once the pollen grain is formed, these pollen grains undergo mitotic division. It undergo mitotic division. Let me show you. So this is a pollen grain. It undergo mitotic division to produce two cell stage. This and this division is unequal. So during mitosis, one cell becomes smaller, another cell becomes larger. The smaller cell is called as generative cell and larger cell is called as vegetative cell. Larger cell is called as vegetative cell, whereas smaller cell is called as generative cell. This generative cell again undergo second mitotic division. Only generative cell, not vegetative cell. So as this generative cell undergo a round of mitosis, it produce two gamete. Okay, so the generative cell divide into two male gametes, and vegetative cell which provide nourishment to this gamete. Okay, so what we have talked, there is androecium, that is male reproductive structure, and each unit of this androecium is called as stamen. Stamen contain three parts: filament, connective and anther. These anthers are bilobed and each lobe divided into four compartments. That's why it is called as tetrasporangiate anther. Each lobe has sporogenous tissue which contain pollen mother cell. This pollen mother cell undergo meiotic division to form pollen grains. Okay. Now this pollen grain undergo mitotic division. This is pollen grain. It undergo just a minute. Pollen grain. It undergo mitosis to produce two cell stage. One cell is larger called as vegetative cell, another cell is smaller called as generative cell. The generative cell again divide mitotically to produce two male gametes. Okay, and vegetative cell which nourish these male gametes. Okay, And now this pollen grain, it is deposited or pollinated on the stigma of female reproductive structure of flower, and that leads to formation of pollen tube, and which result into fertilization, that we will talk in the next video. Okay, bye, take care.